Thank you for joining us in the Mittens Home Furniture and Appliance Studio. Locally owned and operated since 1938. Mittens Home Furniture, open 7 days a week, and mittenshomeappliance.com.
Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and today we're going to be talking about Stratford Tigers volleyball, playoff football, and where you can find this week's live stream schedule. It's all yours, and it's all now. Jason, the Stratford Tigers volleyball team is going to state again in 2018. You got a chance to go to their practice this past week, so tell us a little bit about how things are going.
Yeah, I was there just on Monday, and the girls are having fun. It's all smiles, and it's a little bit of business. I think as the week goes on, it'll become more and more business, and these girls will start to focus their attention back to Green Bay, back to the Rush Center, and we did a lot of that kind of talk when we just talked to these girls, and let's hear what they have to say about their return back to the Rush Center in Green Bay. Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Special WIAA 2018 Girls Volleyball Championship Preview, brought to you by Midstate Technical College. There are over 50 in-demand programs at Midstate. Choose your career at mstc.edu.
Talk about, I guess, what the season, how it's progressed, and how you've been able to stay undefeated with basically with a target on your back this year.
Keeping our eye on the prize. I mean, definitely from the, I guess, not really let down, but from the experience that we had last year at state, now we're ready to come back and get a gold ball.
And what is that experience? What do you think that experience would get you, comparing it to last year, not having been in that big arena before? Now you've already been there, you've seen that, you've done that. What does the experience get you?
I mean, it makes you feel more comfortable. I mean, I know that I'm excited to get there and just play our game. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind if we play our game, we'll be just fine. Where last year I feel like we were more like maybe nervous and excited. Like we had so many emotions going on. I mean, either way we have emotions going on this year, but we're really excited.
You started fast last year at state and won those first two games. And it slipped away from you, but what do you have to do differently to see that doesn't happen again?
I mean, don't get me wrong, Regis was a great team. I mean, but we have this thing where we like to play down to other teams' levels. I mean, having that 2-0 lead, I think, gave us too much confidence, and we let our guard down, and that's something that we shouldn't do anymore. And I definitely think this year we stopped that, and we're keeping focus. So, I mean, this year I hope that it goes well for us and we don't do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And then, as far as your play on the court, what are the keys for you guys to be successful?
Running our offense. I mean, noticing how well our hitters are doing and their smart tips and all that stuff. I mean, running our offense definitely is working for us. So that's one of our key things, I guess you could say. I mean, our defense has picked up really well this last couple years, and that's probably the best that we've ever done for defense. So, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
And this is kind of obviously for you guys it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but, for the program, they've never been in this position before. Not many are to go undefeated, make state 2 years in a row. What does that whole Big Ten mean for you guys?
I couldn't be more honored to be a part of this team. I mean, it's just hard. Like, I love it. We every day say that we are so lucky to be a part of this team and that we are so lucky that we have the talent that we are. We always get alumni coming back saying, gosh, I wish that we had that, and you guys are so focused and you guys care, and they always say that we just definitely are hard workers, I guess you could say. So, I mean, the volleyball programs, I guess in the past hasn't really been as focused, and I definitely think that we are. So, I mean, it means a lot that we are making it this far, and I mean, that's something I'm going to remember forever, as I'm sure the rest of the girls here would.
Right, so, Maisie, I think back to the Rush Center last year and post-match. There were definitely emotions after that. I know Michaela came in, and I think she was sad. I think you were maybe more mad than anything. Am I close?
Yeah, Michaela was definitely sad. I mean, I would have been too. That wasn't how we wanted the season to end. But I was definitely just trying to put on a brave face, I guess, I wanted to show the crowd that they came there to support us, and I was sorry that that's how that turned out. I clearly didn't want it to go that way, but this year I'm hoping to turn that around for Stratford and get us that ball.
And is that something that you and the rest of the girls have been actively thinking about since that time?
Yeah, definitely. We like to talk about it, like talk through our emotions with that, because that was hard on every single one of us. So I watched back on that film, see what I did wrong, see what I could have done better for the team, and definitely going to come into the rush with a new mindset than I had last year.
Yeah, and so you've got that experience. So your opponents don't. That'll be their first time on that big stage. So how can you use that experience to win the day?
You know, just being there last year was enough for us, you know, just thinking about it. But when you get there, you kind of get starstruck with the area and the gym and how big it is. So I think that's something we'll have an edge on, is that experience on that court.
So, Coach, we talked to Maisie a little bit about last year in the media conference post-match. There were a lot of emotions, a lot of sad. I mean, seniors that didn't get to accomplish what they wanted to. But I also saw there was a lot of mad in that post-game presser that we had. How has that energy carried over into 2018?
I think at any time when there's disappointment, when you didn't achieve what you wanted to or play your best game when you needed to, really fuels for the future. And luckily we have a lot of returners this year, and so the minute that they left that game, they were already preparing for the next year, and we couldn't be more proud that we're in this same situation again and heading back to WIAA this weekend.
Going through a season undefeated is pretty tough, and you guys have played in a lot of good tournaments and against good competition. How have the girls been able to stay focused for 2.5 months here?
Yeah, I think part of it is we don't talk about our record. We don't talk about rankings, and we just play each game, each point for everything that it's worth.
Last year, again, we'll go back to Saturday real quick. Last year, again, St. Mary Catholic up in Athens, it took a 5th game tiebreak to take care of them. This time, just a clean sweep. Is that how much better this year's team is than last year?
I think mentally, yes. That was the difference between our team. We had a very strong team physically last year. The whole process that we went through last year has built us into the team that we are this year mentally.
What are the keys for you guys to be successful?
I think just the teamwork of the girls together. They're always holding each other accountable for everything. They're not going to let anybody settle for anything less than what they're worth as a player, and together as a team.
And then your opponent on Friday, they won't have that experience that you have. You and these girls have playing at the Resch Center. How much will you talk about that during the week, that experience and what that means going on the court on Friday morning?
I mean, I think it's something to be noted. Last year it was a lot of the unknowns, going into the locker room, getting onto the court, that big gym, all the fans, the whole town of Stratford. I think it's nice to have some of those things that are just not even a factor anymore. We know what to expect when we go in there, and then we can just focus on the game itself. And some of the fluff that goes along with it, is not a priority. Thank
you to our sponsor, Mid-State Technical College. There are over 50 in-demand programs at Mid-State. Choose your career at mstc.edu. Stay tuned to Zaleski Sports for all of the 2018 WIAA Volleyball Championship highlights coming on Friday night.
Jason, so the football playoffs are really getting serious. And we've got teams playing other teams, home teams, and it's exhilaration, yet it's also heartbreak. It's all happening at the same time. So tell us a little bit about 2018 playoff football.
Well, first things first, the life of Beal Stadium extended by one more week after the Marshall Tigers took down Menasha last Friday. So now they get one last home game. This is the 3rd time we've said they've got one last home game at Beal Stadium, and that game happens on Friday. So good luck to the Tigers. I mean, at this point, Rachel, everybody's 2 games away from going to Madison. You're 2 games away from state. You're oh so close.
So close.
And like you said, that's the exhilaration. And the heartbreak is, we were 2 games away from state. Yeah. Or we were 1 game. If we just had that one more, could we just redo that last quarter, or that last play, or that last throw? And that's the heartbreak. And that's sports. That's sports all bottled up, and then just right at once it pops, and it's exhilaration or heartbreak. And we're at the point now where many of our local teams are playing each other. Right. And so as we've supported them and even at times maybe even cheered for them a little bit while nobody's looking, because we're supposed to be unbiased, all that kind of stuff, somebody's going to lose. You know, one of those games is Loyal at Edgar. We followed Loyal all year long. We followed Edgar all year long. Well, now they play each other.
Yeah.
And there can only be one winner. And there can only be one team that moves on. And that's sad, you know, in that way. Because we got to know both of these teams. And we'll still be proud of them no matter what at the end. But that's just one of those things where somebody's not going to win. Somebody's not going to move on. And that thing is going to happen on Friday up in Edgar, just as an example. Another one, Iola Scandinavia. We've had a good look at them throughout the year through Zaleski Sports Stevens Point, and they play Abbotsford. We've been following Abbotsford for the duration of the season. They play each other. Somebody's going to lose, and somebody's going to win, and we don't know who, and I guess that's why you play to win the game.
You what?
Yeah, and playoffs, all that's happening right now. And then the other thing that's kind of on the horizon, I'm not a coach, so I get to say these kind of things. A coach would never say it, but I get to say it. If both Spencer Columbus and Stratford win on Friday, which it appears as though it is very likely that these two things will happen, they play each other. And what's at stake, Rachel?
What?
The state tournament in Madison, the state championship in Madison between Spencer, Columbus, and Stratford. Two very well-known teams here in the central Wisconsin area. They're going to end up playing each other.
Right.
One of them gets to go to state. One of them is going to be celebrating on the field, and the other one's going to be looking on, wondering what just happened and why wasn't it us. And the seniors on these teams, it'll be their last game. So back to Loyal Edgar. Somebody's going to play their last game as a high school football player on Friday night. A bunch of teams, half the teams that play across the state are going to play, if you're a senior, for the last time ever. Yeah. And that's a lot to take in that moment. So, but that's what's happening. That's what's going on around football here in the area, and it's exciting. And that's sports. And if you signed up for it, you knew you were getting into it. And if you're right now hearing this and you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, really? I can't handle that," then sports is not for you. Get out.
Oh, my heart goes out to all the teams for both the exhilaration and the sad times. So. We're there with you on the sidelines, and we feel your pain. So just hang in there, and we excite and rejoice with you as well.
Yep, it's going to be exciting. It will. Bottom line.
All right, so moving on to the live stream schedule. So this week's live stream schedule is still kind of being configured, so please just stay locked to our Facebook page, or you can check out our website at ZaleskiSportsShow.com for more information on which games will be available for you to watch.
Yeah, it's, and again, we talked about this during our seed reveal show in this very Mittens Home Furniture and Appliance studio just a few weeks ago. It is not an easy task when we are deciding these live streams. Every game is worthwhile to live stream. Right. The resources are finite. The camera operators, which Rachel does from time to time, there's only so many of them. And the resources, the funding, the sponsors are also limited. And in that order, I mean, personnel is our first bottleneck. And without enough people, it doesn't matter how much money we're able to generate anyway. So if you know somebody, or if you are that somebody, message the page or comment below right now. We will hook you up.
You certainly will. It's an exciting experience for anybody to get involved with, being able to broadcast these games live for a lot of people out there. So let us know if you're interested. So also make sure to check out Facebook, because we have Facebook pages galore. We have a Facebook that's for Zaleski Sports Show Stevens Point, Zaleski Sports Show Wisconsin Rapids, Zaleski Sports Show for Neillsville, and Zaleski Sports Show, just the main page for most exciting and best highlights. And
Zaleski Sports Medford and Wausau in the mix as well.
Woo-hoo-hoo. That's exciting. Okay, so Jason, UW Stevens Point. The UW Stevens Point Pointer soccer team is moving on to the playoffs. And so here's a look at how they wrapped up for 2018 regular season. Yeah, let's take a look at women's soccer. Is definitely exciting, especially at the college level. So we'll give you a recap of what happened last week, and then playoff coverage. Pointer playoffs, women's soccer is on Thursday, and we'll be there to cover, and we'll bring you more highlights. So here's what happened on Saturday. Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show Highlight House, sponsored by the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. UW Stevens Point, now with campuses in Wausau and Marshfield. UW Stevens Point, a new chapter in education. Pointers play for a regular season championship next.
With a conference championship on the line, Stevens Point hosts lacrosse. Both drive down the field early on, but the goalkeepers are in the way, and lacrosse sends another one just outside. Things get a little bit physical there with Alexis Peterson, but the Pointers come up empty-handed on the possession as the ball lands right back into lacrosse's hands. Moments later, Lexi Pawlowski gets her workout from lacrosse, saving 2 goals back-to-back. Caitlin Hess drives down, but is kicked away before it can even reach the goalkeeper. And Pawlowski is there to save another goal. In the second half, now tied 0-0, lacrosse goes over the net again, and a corner kick for UWSP is hit right out of reach before they can make anything out of it. Hoping to line up a shot, but trips up, and lacrosse takes possession. The Pointers can't make anything on a last-ditch effort, and it goes into overtime. Jacqueline Ailman kicks it over to Maddie Hardiman, but a group of lacrosse defenders are there. And Pawlowski's there once again to save 2 goals from lacrosse. Unless this double move from Sophia Redding goes in. But time expires and the match goes 0-0.
Thanks for watching the Zaleski Sports Show. Please visit the website at zaleskisportshow.com and our Twitter page at Zaleski Sports. I'm Rachel, and this is Jason. Have a great rest of your week.
Go Sports!